Greetings and welcome to the next of these Baz tutorials. This is number 18. Wowee! Alright, today I'm going to do something with here. I'll make a new patcher. I'm going to do something with video delays, and the object I'm going to use to make these video delays is called, so I'll make a new object with my N key, JIT.matrix set. Alright, so the JIT.matrix set has a number of arguments. The first argument is the number of matrices you want the matrix set to be able to store, which will use 128, which is pretty extreme. The more you'll find that it chews up the RAM pretty fast to use JIT.matrix set. We're going to use a 4 char matrix, which we haven't really explained, but it's all over the tutorials in Jitter. It's all about planes, 4 planes being RGB and alpha. Okay, and we're going to make it, the dimensions of this thing, we're going to make it 640 by 480, so we get nice high resolution. We're actually going to be grabbing live video today, and to do that I'm going to use another new object here, jit.qt.grab. This is only available for the Macintosh. I'll give it an argument, 640 by 480s for the dimensions of this thing. If you're looking to do this on a PC, I would suggest that you look at an object instead of jit.qt.grab, jit.dx. So just replace the Qt with the DX. Of course, I get a message in Mac's window saying I don't have jit.dx.grab, but if you're on a PC, it'll be the exact opposite. It'll say cannot, that there's no such object as jit.qt.grab. Alright. Another thing we're going to, well, okay, we can just get the metronome going up here. Whoops, that's not a metro at all. New object here for metro. Because as with most jitter object, the jit.qt.grab needs to be banged to to do its thing. We'll need a toggle to turn on our metronome. That's a T on your keyboard in case you haven't done any of the other tutorials. Alright, and what else do we need here? A message. The message open will open the video, well, it'll open the component or whatever kind of camera you have attached to your computer. This is again why this tutorial won't work for some of you, because it may be that you don't have a camera on your computer and don't own anything such as a webcam or a FireWire camera, anything that has basically anything that you can stick into a port on your computer to use as a video camera will work with jit.qt.grab, and if it doesn't and you're on a PC, then jit.dx.grab. So you might pause the tutorial for 5 minutes to go down to the store and buy yourself a $20 camera. Of course, most cameras, a lot of cheap cameras, won't run at 640 by 480 resolution. Quite a lot of them actually. We can make sure that this is all working. I'm going to get myself my jit.p window. I could have done that slower, but you should all be like geniuses now with the jitter stuff. Alright, let's just see what goes on if I open this component here. It takes a second for my camera to come up, and then I can press this, and that's me. Can you believe it? This is the first time you can see who's responsible for all of this nonsense. Okay, going to put something in between the jit.qt.grab and the jit.matrix set, which we've used before. It's a new object called jit.change, because storing these matrices is pretty expensive on RAM. We don't want to be wasting any, so the jit.change will just filter out any matrices that happen to be the same. I'm just going to destroy that now. I'm going to run out of space as it is. Alright, I'm going to stick the output of my matrix set out to a new thing here, a jit.window. Okay, well, that's a comma. Okay, jit.window. There's my window. Perfect. and I can hook this up over here. Okay. What do I need now? Well, there's a couple of things that the JIT.matrix set needs. It needs to have an index and well, I know this stuff, but I'm going to hold down the Option key on my Mac or the Alt key on my PC, clicking on the JIT.matrix set to bring up its help. And the most important thing I can see here is that it needs something called an output matrix and an index. They're kind of fairly self-explanatory, I guess. The index is the number that you're storing your matrix at, and the output matrix is the one which is, how shall I say, what? Oh yeah, the one that you were going to be looking at. Gee, that took a little bit of time here. Here's another little trick that I just recently learned, is that if you, I don't know why it took me so long, but if you scroll over the inlet of an object like JIT.matrix set and click on it, it gives you all of the things that you can send to it. So if I chose output matrix, which I know is one of the things I want, it all of a sudden comes up with this message with the with a replaceable argument so that I can actually stick something in there. I'll do the same for get my index, just because I haven't done it on these tutorials yet. You go over here to index, and that's good. A couple of message boxes all ready to rock with my JIT.matrix set. I'm going to just constantly store, just store every frame. So I'm going to use a counter. Make a new object with a counter. If you create a counter with just one argument, so in this case 127, it's actually going to give you a counter that counts up from 0 to whatever number you put in there. So it'll go up from 0 to 127. I'm going to use that to store my incoming matrix from my ugly face. Alright, I'm going to need to bang this counter, and methinks I should have a bang coming from the change, because that's where it all starts. So I'm going to make a new object. I'm actually going to use a trigger bang bang. I'm going to need another bang from here, so I know ahead of time. I'll just take that. If you don't know already, when you just have a trigger with a bang off it, with a jitter matrix, it'll just bang every matrix that it receives. Well, it'll send a bang for every matrix. I'm going to trigger this bang off here. That should now be constantly storing. What we're going to do for an output matrix is actually add a certain amount. So let's try. This patch might start looking a bit ugly, I think. We're going to try just adding a certain amount. So a new object here, and plus, well, for the moment I'll just say +1. Okay, and I'm going to want to modulus around, so because we're going to go now, this is going to go now 1 to 128, and we're only storing 0 to 127 in the indexes. So I'm going to use a modulus here, new object. Modulus looks like a %, and I'm going to modulus 128, so we keep it in the range 0 to 127. We should already be able to see what's going on if I just start up this thing. It should just be a long video delay, which I'll get my my window over here. It still hasn't even, oh, there's me. That's what I looked like about, what, 15, well, look at this guy. He looks like he's really concentrating. That was me quite some time ago.